Sir, stop messing with that door. You're trespassing.
Messing with it? I'm opening my garage. I live here.
The caller said you don't belong here. I'm asking for ID and proof of residence.
You want ID? I'll show you my federal seal. I'm Judge Harris of the District Court. This is my
You
house.
can claim anything. Failure to provide ID results in arrest.
Officer Ryan Mitchell had been with the Austin Police Department for 12 years. In those 12 years, he'd compiled a record that should have ended his career long before that hot July afternoon. 20 complaints. 20. 17 of them involving accusations of harassment or unlawful detention against black professionals in affluent neighborhoods. A black accountant entering his own condo was detained for burglary. A black engineer working in his driveway was questioned for suspicious activity. A black teacher walking her dog in her own neighborhood was stopped for trespassing. Each complaint ended the same way: mandatory community relations training that Mitchell attended but never internalized. No real discipline, no meaningful consequences. One July afternoon in Austin, his 12-year pattern of assuming black people didn't belong in expensive neighborhoods finally confronted someone whose daily work involved saving lives in operating rooms across the city. And that confrontation would end Mitchell's career, cost the city $4.6 million, and expose a department that had ignored 20 identical complaints over 12 years. A black man in his late 40s, Dr. Marcus Webb, was standing in the driveway of his Westlake home, opening his garage door to retrieve something from his car after finishing morning surgery rounds. His hospital ID badge hung from his neck, his surgical scrubs were visible under his jacket, and his Mercedes sat in the garage behind him. No crime, no violation, no suspicious behavior, just a surgeon at his own home accessing his own garage. But Officer Mitchell saw him through a lens so warped by assumptions about who belongs in wealthy neighborhoods that he couldn't process a black man in scrubs as a legitimate homeowner. He couldn't imagine that medical success in expensive houses weren't limited by the racial boundaries Mitchell enforced in his mind, and couldn't accept that the person he was about to confront had more right to be there than Mitchell had to question him. Before we continue, where are you watching from? If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Stories like these need to be shared, and your support helps us bring more truth to light. Austin, Texas. Westlake, one of the city's most exclusive neighborhoods. Sprawling homes on large lots, manicured lawns, 3-car garages, and property values starting at $1.5 million. The area attracts tech executives, successful entrepreneurs, medical professionals, people with significant wealth. It was 2:30 on a July afternoon. The temperature had hit 98 degrees and was climbing toward 102 degrees. The sun blazed down on the quiet residential street where nothing dramatic typically happens. Dr. Marcus Webb had been a cardiothoracic surgeon at Austin Medical Center for 14 years. 14 years performing open-heart surgeries, valve replacements, and complex cardiac procedures. He'd completed medical school at Johns Hopkins, residency at Mayo, clinic and fellowship in cardiothoracic surgery at Cleveland Clinic. He'd published research on minimally invasive surgical techniques. His patients survived at rates above national averages. His colleagues called him meticulous and brilliant. That afternoon, Dr. Webb had finished his morning surgeries by 1 p.m. 2 bypass procedures, both successful. He'd completed his hospital rounds, checked on post-op patients, and decided to go home for a quick break before evening consultations. He'd purchased the Westlake home 5 years ago for $2.1 million, a beautiful 5-bedroom house with a pool and a 3-car garage. He'd earned it through 2 decades of 80-hour weeks and life-or-death decisions. His neighbors had been mixed when he moved in. Some were welcoming, others were distant, making comments about the neighborhood diversifying. One neighbor had asked if he was in sports or entertainment, unable to imagine a black surgeon. Dr. Webb had navigated these microaggressions with professionalism, focusing on his work rather than neighborhood politics. That afternoon, he'd pulled into his driveway, parked in front of the garage, and walked to the garage door opener mounted on the wall. He'd pressed the button, and the door had begun to rise when he heard a car pull up fast behind him in a commanding voice. Do you think officers should verify property ownership before confronting homeowners? Drop your answer below. Officer Mitchell had been with Austin PD for 12 years, assigned to affluent neighborhoods for 8 of those years. His supervisors described him as proactive about property crime, which was code for aggressive about questioning people he deemed out of place. In 12 years, he generated 20 formal complaints. 17 involved black professionals in wealthy areas. A black woman entering her own home in Tarrytown was questioned for 30 minutes. A black man washing his car in his driveway in Westlake Hills was detained for theft investigation. A black couple unloading groceries at their house in Rollingwood were searched for burglary. Every complaint followed the pattern. Black people in white neighborhoods. Mitchell assumes they don't belong. Mitchell questions and detains. Complaints filed, training assigned, no consequences. Austin PD had documented 20 complaints over 12 years, but the department treated each separately, never connecting the obvious pattern. That afternoon, Mitchell received a call about a suspicious person at a garage in Westlake. The caller reported a black male in medical clothing accessing a garage during work hours when the homeowner should be at the hospital. Mitchell responded within minutes, seeing exactly what he expected. A black man at an open garage in an expensive neighborhood. "Sir, step away from that garage right now." Dr. Webb turned, startled, and saw a patrol car blocking his driveway and an officer approaching aggressively. His stomach dropped. He'd heard these stories. From colleagues, black doctors questioned at their own homes, but never thought it would happen to him. "Officer, this is my garage. I'm just getting my car. I live here." Mitchell's hand moved near his weapon. "We received a call about someone breaking into garages in this neighborhood. What are you doing here?" Dr. Webb felt anger rising but kept his voice controlled. "Breaking in? I own this house. I'm Dr. Marcus Webb. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon at Austin Medical. I just came home between shifts." "The homeowner is supposed to be at work. You need to leave before I arrest you for trespassing." "I am the homeowner. I took a break after morning surgeries. This is my house. My name is on the deed. I've lived here 5 years." "Anyone can claim to own a house. Show me some identification." Dr. Webb pulled out his wallet and handed over his driver's license. It showed the exact address where they were standing. Mitchell examined it, then looked at Dr. Webb skeptically. "This could be fake. Whose car is that in the garage?" "Mine. It's registered to me at this address." "Officer, my hospital ID is right here." He held up his badge, hanging around his neck. "Austin Medical Center, Dr. Marcus Webb, cardiothoracic surgery." A neighbor emerged from across the street, an elderly white woman who'd lived there for 30 years. "Officer, what's going on?" "That's Dr. Webb. He lives there. He's lived there for 5 years." Mitchell turned to her. "Ma'am, we received a call about suspicious activity." "Suspicious activity? He's getting something from his own garage. I've known Marcus for years. He performed surgery on my husband. He saved his life." "Officer, this is wrong." Dr. Webb spoke again. "Officer, I'm standing at my own home with my driver's license showing this address, my hospital ID proving who I am, and my neighbor confirming I live here. What exactly do you think I'm doing wrong?" Mitchell's certainty wavered, but his pride held. "I still need to verify with the property records." "Then verify. But while you're doing that, understand that you've pulled up to my home, accused me of breaking in, and are treating me like a criminal for accessing my own garage. This is racial profiling, and it's being witnessed and documented. Should officers face automatic suspension for harassing homeowners without probable cause? Let me know what you think." Mitchell called for a supervisor. Within 10 minutes, Sergeant Patricia Flores arrived, a 22-year veteran who'd recommended Mitchell's termination after complaint 15. She'd been overruled by command staff. She immediately assessed the scene. Expensive home, black man in surgical scrubs with hospital ID, driver's license matching the address, and supportive neighbor. "Mitchell, what's happening?" "Call about a break-in. Subject claims to own the property." Dr. Webb interrupted, his professional composure cracking. "I don't claim to own it, Sergeant. I do own it. For 5 years. My name is Dr. Marcus Webb. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. I performed 2 open-heart surgeries this morning. I came home for a break. I was opening my garage when Officer Mitchell pulled up and accused me of breaking in." Flores pulled out her phone and accessed Travis County property records. "Property owner, Marcus Webb, MD purchase date, 2018, no liens, taxes current." She turned to Mitchell with barely contained anger. "He owns the house. Why didn't you verify before confronting him?" The caller said, "The caller was wrong. You should have checked before treating a homeowner like a criminal in his own driveway." She turned to Dr. Webb. "Dr. Webb, I sincerely apologize. This should never have happened." Dr. Webb looked exhausted. "Sergeant, I save lives for a living. I work 70-hour weeks. I bought this house with money I earned through 20 years of medical training and practice, and I was accused of breaking into my own garage because someone saw a black man and called the police. Another neighbor approached, a man in his 50s. Sergeant, I'm 3 houses down. Marcus has been an excellent neighbor for 5 years. He's a surgeon. Everyone knows that. This is embarrassing for our neighborhood. Flores spoke into her radio. Dispatch, cancel that call. Homeowner verified. No break-in. She turned to Mitchell. Badge and radio. Administrative leave. Now. Mitchell's face went white. Sergeant, I was responding to a call. You confronted a homeowner at his own property without verifying basic information. You've generated 20 complaints in 12 years, 17 involving black professionals. You're done. Badge, radio, immediately. Mitchell handed them over. By evening, the medical community was mobilizing. Austin Medical Center issued a statement supporting Dr. Webb. The Texas Medical Association condemned the incident. His patients began sharing stories of a surgeon who'd saved their lives. The NAACP called for action. Civil rights organizations documented it as part of a pattern of racial profiling in affluent Austin neighborhoods. Dr. Webb filed a lawsuit 9 weeks later, naming Officer Ryan Mitchell, his supervisors who'd ignored 20 complaints, and Austin PD. The allegations were specific: racial profiling, harassment, unlawful detention, violation of property rights, intentional infliction of emotional distress, deliberate indifference to Mitchell's pattern of discriminatory stops. The complaint included Mitchell's complete record: 20 complaints over 12 years, 17 involving black professionals in wealthy neighborhoods, all dismissed with training that never changed behavior. Austin city attorneys found no defense. Property records proved ownership. Multiple neighbors supported Dr. Webb. Mitchell had no legal basis for the confrontation. The pattern of complaints showed deliberate indifference. The city settled 19 months later, $4.6 million paid to Dr. Marcus Webb, one of the largest settlements in Austin history for racial profiling on private property. Officer Ryan Mitchell was terminated 11 weeks after the incident. The termination letter was direct. Officer Mitchell confronted a homeowner at his own property, accusing him of breaking in despite identification proving ownership. He failed to verify property records before creating a confrontation. His pattern of similar conduct, documented through 20 complaints in 12 years, demonstrates an inability to serve without racial bias. Employment terminated immediately. Mitchell's name was entered into the National Decertification Index. His 12-year career ended. Dr. Webb testified before Austin City Council. I'm a cardiothoracic surgeon. I've dedicated 20 years to saving lives. I performed 2 open-heart surgeries the morning I was confronted. I bought my house with money earned through decades of medical training. And Officer Mitchell accused me of breaking into my own garage because someone saw a black man in surgical scrubs and assumed crime. He paused. 20 complaints in 12 years, 17 involving black professionals in wealthy neighborhoods. That's not mistakes. That's a pattern. A pattern your department ignored until it targeted someone with the platform to fight back. He paused again. $4.6 million is what it costs to address one officer's 12-year pattern. But money doesn't undo being treated like a criminal in your own driveway. It doesn't erase the humiliation, and it doesn't prevent the next officer with 20 complaints from doing the same thing. Austin PD implemented reforms: mandatory property verification before trespassing confrontations, automatic investigation at 3 similar complaints, body camera review for all residential property calls, community partnerships, command accountability for documented patterns. Why do departments wait for 20 complaints instead of acting on 3? Comment your thoughts. This wasn't about one July afternoon. This was about tolerating Ryan Mitchell for 12 years, despite 20 complaints showing identical bias. The pattern was obvious, but Austin PD treated each separately, never acknowledging systemic failure. Dr. Marcus Webb paid the price, accused of breaking into his own garage, humiliated in his own driveway after saving lives all morning. Ryan Mitchell's career is over. The city paid $4.6 million, but those measures came after 20 complaints in 12 years. 12 years of black professionals who were harassed and had no recourse. Comment if this should be mandatory. 3 similar complaints within 3 years triggers automatic termination. Pattern recognition becomes policy. And if you believe these stories matter, if you think 20 complaints over 12 years should have resulted in action after complaint 3, then hit that subscribe button. We're exposing departments that ignore patterns. We're demanding better. We're fighting for everyone who's been profiled for being successful while black. This isn't about one officer or one surgeon. It's about systems that let patterns continue and the people who pay the price for that willful blindness.